Hey there, Gothamites. Brian Ward here. Just letting you know, as a little bit of a disclaimer, we recorded this reaction video to the Clayface trailer about 24 hours before we found out that it's not in the universe we thought it was. What do I mean by that? You've got the Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, and then you've got James Gunn's DCU Superman universe. Because of how dark and gritty this trailer is, we naturally assumed it was in the Matt Reeves universe. It's not. So instead of coming at us in the comments, and by the way, feel free to leave a comment, come back to our reaction video about how we feel about which universe this is actually in. You might be interested to hear our thoughts on that. We'll find out next time. Until then, enjoy our reaction to Clayface, the teaser trailer. Hey there, Gothamites, and welcome to a very special supplementary episode-ish light of the Arkham Sessions. My name is Brian Ward. Joining me, as always, is the psychologist to the superheroes, superheroines, and supervillains of Gotham City, and that's going to be important. She's Dr. Drea Letamendi. Hello, Drea.
Hi, Brian.
We decided it's been a minute since we've been able to record a proper episode. We've had some interviews. We've had some convention panels. We've had stuff at work. We've been tired, but we could not let this day go by without recording a reaction to what dropped today. Drea, why don't you tell the good folks what we're going to be talking about?
I haven't seen it yet. It is the Clayface film trailer.
Yeah. Warner Brothers in DC released it today. I wasn't expecting it. I don't know if you were expecting it.
No,
but
I wasn't.
I definitely wasn't.
I'm also kind of scared. Like, what if I don't like it? You need to know how much I adore Clayface.
This is true.
One of my I would say top 3 Batman rogues.
I mean, you are a monster masher.
They've got to get it right. But I'm so excited because I think they're going to get it right.
Why is that? Is it because
you've got Flanagan?
Yeah.
You've got this is in the same universe as the Pattinson filmography, so that was good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like no strikes yet.
Okay. Are you surprised that Clayface is the first villain beyond Penguin to get a look, an extensive look at that character?
I know that folks are going to argue that there isn't a film here, that this isn't a character to build a whole film around, that there are other characters, obviously the Joker, it's been done. Obviously other characters that have the mysteriousness, the intellect, the sinister qualities that this, I honestly feel like people sleep on Clayface. But I don't know. I think it's got to be done right. It's got to be a horror movie because Clayface is a horrific character inside and out.
If it's going to be about him, it needs to be a horror movie. And I think that's the right way to go.
Yes. And it's got to be redeeming. It can't just be, this is a monster for monster's sake. And I think redeemed villains are having a hard time right now because the cliche of the redeemed villain is so overdone. So it's got to be, I feel like it is a high bar. It's got to be true, and I don't know, it has to have some integrity with its source material, but it also needs to be innovative. They've got to switch it up, make it different, surprise us.
So what are you expecting from this trailer? Do you think I don't really know a whole lot except that Mike Flanagan is putting it together. Do you think it's Matt Hagen? Do you think he's an actor? Do you think he's an actor who's had an accident or was attacked or whatever? Do you think, let me put it to you this way. In the world of the Batman and Penguin, do you think they're going to go with the more science-y, magic-y, supernaturally literal clay, or do you think they go with something a little more grounded?
Well, the world they're playing in is more grounded.
Right.
So that's tough. Having said that, there's lots of ways to get around that. And horror is psychologically mysterious and vague. Like we might think we're seeing something supernatural, magical, but not grounded.
Quasi-science-y.
When it's actually grounded. So I think there's a lot of possibilities and potential here.
Okay.
So, and to answer your question, I don't know if he's going to be an actor, but he has to be somebody who's in a situation or a role where looks matter, where the external is a part of his core psychology, because Clayface is about an individual who has to push through his sense of self on the outside and understand that who he is on the inside is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And that shape-shifting becomes his strength. And that, of course, shape-shifting is a metaphor for something else. So I want to see all... What's that?
Literal masking.
Literal masking. Literal code switching. Literal in-betweenness. Literal, being alienated from everyone else, but finding your truth in your sense of self. I'm really excited, and I'm also, of course, I don't know if I'm going to be let down by this, but I'm the kind of Batman fan that I enthusiastically enjoy and welcome stories, even if they're not the ones that I would have thought of or that fit my schema of what these rogues should be.
Yeah.
The fact that they're making this and the fact that Clayface gets to be the lead, the protagonist, gets to be centered.
That is what
so
worries
cool.
me a little bit, though.
Why are you worried about this?
Well, if he's, you said that he's got to be redeemed in some way. So does that mean that we don't get him as a villain in another Batman story later? And would Batman even be involved in this particular story? When does this take place?
I think he's going to subvert what we think a villain is.
Okay. Because at some point, I do want to have rogues for Batman to beat up on. And if if I feel too much a certain way for all of them, then I don't know that I'm comfortable with Batman beating them up.
So go watch the Nolan trilogy.
I didn't say that I'm not looking forward to it, but what I'm saying is these were characters made for Batman to be against, and so
and he will be.
And if you want to see a Batman movie, you're going to need the rogues to be a part of it.
Sure. In this world with the Riddler and the Penguin, like, we are going to see the villains do terrible, horrible things and be the antithesis to the value system that Batman has. I think that has to happen. So he's going to fight against them.
Yeah.
It will be much more dynamic from the perspective that we're going to understand it from the villain's point of view, like we have with the Penguin. And I think to some extent, like we had with the Riddler and his subversive, what he would consider a pro-social mission.
Right.
So we're going to get that. And that's why I think you and I can both win.
Okay. I mean, I'm not taking sides. I'm simply saying if this is an origin story for a character that we're going to see later, he can't be too redeemed because I'm going to want to see him later and I'm going to need to see Batman beat him at some point in some way. So we'll see. But with that, I think really the only thing we can do is press play if you are ready, Drea.
I think so.
Okay, here we go. So right off the bat. Oh, okay. So he's a good looking dude. Or was. Oh, they are going to go with.
Sweet. Oh.
Okay.
Oh my God. I just figured it out.
Okay.
I think.
What did you just figure out?
I feel like that's not enough information to know, but okay, was he assaulted or attacked?
It does look like he was attacked.
He clear, like, obviously he's a good-looking individual. I see him as someone who experienced this traumatic event. He was attacked.
Yeah.
And he was disfigured.
His career's probably on the up.
And because he is desperate to find a way out, he seeks a cure. Because I think when we see him in the hospital bed, he's healing from the assault. Like, I think he's not Clayface yet. I think it's a reckoning. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm now a different person.
Yeah.
And how do I become not only the person who I was, but now I need to even like overshoot that. I can become anything. And so he finds some kind of intervention, some kind of like physical intervention. Like, I don't know, the substance.
I was getting massive substance vibes from the trailer, and it made me wonder if the movie was 2 years too late. Like,
have you seen The Substance?
Yes.
I've not seen The Substance.
Yeah. And so I found myself wondering if, and I'm guessing that that's covered. Like, I'm guessing that they've seen it, they know it, you know, they're not going to try to do a male recreation of The Substance. But also I was curious about some of those quick cuts, and I realized it's a teaser trailer. This wasn't even a legit trailer. It was a teaser trailer. I found myself wondering if some of those shots of the droopiness of the mouth being covered, of the eye being covered even, were more
like side effects,
psychological than physically happening.
Yes. So I think he seeks some kind of medical cure.
Yeah.
And I think like The Substance, it has side effects.
Yeah.
I think it has like neurobiological side effects. So he's going to be, maybe he initially is a good person, and with these side effects, something inhabits or infects his brain. Or
similar to some of the other serums we've seen in the past, it simply enhances what he already was.
An existing pathology. I love it. However, I wonder if that last shot, when we see him kind of mutate, or it's almost like, you know, on command, he can create like a no face.
There was a quick cut there. So
yeah,
I
couldn't tell.
So I do wonder if it's actually like that, or if that was for the sake of the trailer.
And I wonder if it's a dysmorphia. Like, I wonder if the Clayface, this version of Clayface, is that, yes, he's physically disfigured, and yes, there are physical side effects of the thing he's trying. Yes, it fits. God, it fits the manosphere. It fits the looks maxing. It fits, like you said, the injections, the serums, the surgeries, the interventions, the external literal abuse on the body to reach this pinnacle of male beauty.
So what you're saying is...
I'm saying it's timed right.
Yeah, what you're saying is okay, I can get on board with this.
However...
The Riddler was incel. And Clayface is manosphere, so we are using the time period in which we are making these movies to tell stories about these types of people.
However,
yeah,
I don't want it to be so aligned with that, because look, I'll be blunt. Everyone leading the manosphere culture is not redeemable. They are awful human beings. And I think this character needs to be one that we have empathy for. So it's...
Sure, but he's not necessarily an influencer. He's one being influenced.
Perhaps.
Right.
I think they've...
I just need a doctor. I just need a doctor with a thick accent to be like, you see what I have to work with here.
And that's a Batman 89 reference for you.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I feel like we're going to get some body horror. We're going to get some psychological dysmorphia.
Yeah. How are you going to feel about that?
I have to tolerate it. Like we're going to have
be
to.
willing to sit through a Cronenberg-esque body horror movie.
When does this come out?
October. It looks like October
This year?
23rd. Yeah.
So I have several months to do some exposure therapy with other
Cronenberg movies.
not Cronenberg, some other, maybe The Substance.
Maybe The Substance.
I do have to say, I wondered at the very end of the trailer, or this is like a teaser. It's not so much a full trailer, but I wondered at the end of the trailer here if something about this was a delusion. So he's seeing himself.
That's what I said. That's what I meant by psychological more than actual. Like when we would see him in the mirror and stuff, I found myself wondering if he was actually drooping or if that's like a night, if the cut is going to be, and then he's fine,
and
fine.
there are some types of psychoses where you believe your appearance is a certain way.
Yeah.
Now there's a spectrum to this too, but you believe your appearance is a certain way and other people aren't. These are beliefs not grounded in reality. They're possible delusions and hallucinations. The problem with that story and plot is that, so then if it's quote all in his head, why are other people reacting to him? How is he interacting with society? He's supposed to be, quote, a monster. He needs to be a monster. So
unless it's a Dorian Gray sort of situation where the monster is on the inside and he is suddenly manifesting.
yeah.
It's hard to tell from a trailer with no dialogue. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm a little surprised that they only gave us a teaser, given that this is only May, June, July, August, September, 6 months away. So okay, a teaser I guess is appropriate. We'll probably get we're going to get the full trailer in July at Comic-Con.
What do you think some of those flashes are? Like the fairy, like that brought me back to other Batman stories. Like what? The woman, I think there is, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to see it multiple times.
Yeah. I'm sure over the course of the night, we're going to watch it at least 2 more times.
Well,
we will be pausing in between each shot.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I think it's a very creepy looking trailer. If you didn't say that it was Clayface, I would think that it would be
like It Follows or something?
Definitely not It Follows.
I don't know what It Follows is.
But it stands next to a contemporary horror film. It looks suitably creepy. And I'm curious to see how it fits in the Reeves Batman verse.
Me too.
You can see this person living in the world of Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I wonder what you mean by that. If you mean because he's miserable, yeah.
Well, the reason I say that is Batman is what it is. Like put Batman aside for a second. We got an entire TV series about Penguin, and we learned a lot about Penguin, and Penguin became very relatable in many ways and became, like you said, redeemed in certain ways. But by the end,
but not a figure who is likable.
No.
I think there's a difference there.
Okay, interesting. I did find him to be somewhat likable. By the end of the show, I'm still rooting for him. So I'm still wanting Penguin to defeat everyone else who are worse. But it is still very clearly the origin story of Penguin. You can see where he's going to become the owner of the Iceberg Lounge and the mass murderer and the crime boss. Like you see it. You see it come together. And I'm curious about Clayface, being a movie, it's going to be a couple hours versus how many episodes did we get of Penguin? So they're going to have to cram a lot into that amount of time, but I'm here for it.
I am too.
All right.
I love some origin stories. Like, bring back the origin stories.
Yeah.
Be creative, be innovative, like break the mold. And like, I think not for nothing, sometimes, I don't know what to call them, like D characters, like less popular. Who's going to say Clayface is their favorite villain? It's like me and 5 other people. But, we saw what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy and some of the characters that are not well known and that are sort of less popular in the comics. And I think this parallel is a bit of a
James Gunn. I will admit that Guardians of the Galaxy, when the first one came out, when the first one was announced, I went, what? That's going to be the first miss in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And James Gunn brought it across the finish line. James Gunn is now the head of DC, the film universe. So at this point, I don't deny that he has a track record for being able to tell a good story with characters that most people don't know anything about.
Do you think that this guy in this trailer is going to become the massive, shape-shifting, monstrous blob that is twice the size of Batman? Like, are we going to see that level? It
terrifies me, the thought of that, the promise of that, I don't know. I don't know if you can get away with it yet in this world. That's why I'm saying, can you see this guy living in the same world with Penguin, who is so grounded? And this is clearly science that's off the charts. Someone injecting red and blue liquid into someone and them becoming putty. I don't know. And right now, I do realize that CG has gotten so much better over the years, but I've just got visions of, what was it, Lamagra, the blood demon at the end of Blade. Like, just like I'm so I believe that was the alternate ending, where he became the blobby. But I'm like, how does our Batman in that Matt Reeves universe fight that guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to find out, though. All right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, do all that other stuff. If you want to get up to date reactions to trailers like this and the movie when it's released, because we will. And we're very excited for it. So until next time, I'm Brian Ward.
I'm Dr. Drea Letamendi.
And together we are
the Arkham Sessions.